Exactly. And this is what the Russians are saying, that they can't believe this is happening in America. Now, the other thing that Frank mentioned is where Yemen is, bordering Saudi Arabia, as we mentioned. Yeah, no. And now they're also, remember the Cole. The USS Cole was blown up.
It got bombed in Aden. Yeah.
Now, 25% of the world's oil moves through the straits in that area. So if we have a terrorist strike, and again, Saudi Arabia, the U.S., the Yemen government are all involved in this. There's a civil war going on there. It's their second in 15 years. Rebellions in the north, in the south, religious, tribal. It's a mess. And what they're doing, and there's absolutely no evidence, even coming from the Saudis saying there's no evidence, they're blaming it on Iran. So put the pieces together.
I just wanted to point out, if people put the map out and this power under the guise of terrorism, watching our poor American and blessed American military, boys and girls, going into country without declarations of war, we're going to do a power grab in Iraq and on the other side on Afghanistan, and then run into Pakistan. So we do see the globalists in there dividing up and conquering and taking over.
And they've got a fake leftist in there to sell the left on going along with a warmonger worse than George Bush.
And putting climate control and taxes, national taxes on that, we can see how it's a power grab from both the American industrialists and using our boys and girls and military to do a power grab around the world, and it's...
No, that's exactly what's happening, Frank. I appreciate your call. And they think once they get us in these wars, we'll be like, yeah, we got to win the football game. We can't cut and run. In closing, Gerald Celente, people can subscribe to your great Trends Forecasting Journal at trendsresearch.com. We have links to that up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Of course, you are a big part of the Obama deception and my new film, Fall of the Republic. In closing, I wanted to ask you if you've seen Fall of the Republic. I think we mailed you one. I'm asking this, out on a limb here, and what you thought of that and the Obama.
I think it's great. I think your movies are terrific. I get terrific comments from them. I encourage everybody to watch them, and you're doing what few people do, and I applaud you for the brave stand you take. And I also want to mention, we know how difficult it is out there for everyone. And what we're doing, there's a discount request button. We try to make the Trends Journal available to everybody at any price they could afford. So please let us know. And Alex, keep up the great work. The feedback that we're getting from your CDs, the Obama deception and the Fall of the Republic, day after day we get them. Thanking you and thanking me and thanking all of those that participated on it for doing our part and giving people the courage to also step forward and to do their part, because that's the only way it's going to change.
Well, I think there's no doubt at the end of the day, we're in a fight for our liberties, a fight for our freedoms. There's a global corporate takeover taking place. It uses all these boogeymen to get us to acquiesce to tyranny. But thanks to you and many others telling the truth, there is an awakening happening. And I think time and history and the truth is on our side, Gerald Celente. I think in the end, we're going to beat these people.
We either beat them or we go under. And I'm not for going under. So I say, let's win.
Gerald, thank you so much for talking to us. We'll talk to you next year, my friend.
Very Happy New Year.
You too. There goes Gerald Celente. We have our special guest coming up in the next segment, in the next hour. Fourth and final hour, straight ahead. Right here on the one, the only, GCN Radio Network. Stay with us. Well, they got on a flight from Amsterdam into the United States, and they saw some very interesting things happen on the concourse, in the airport, into the plane, and on the plane. And, of course, he's a lawyer, a really good witness, trained to be able to document and be careful about what he says he saw. And the other witnesses are saying the exact same thing. Very, very bizarre. You have the sharp-dressed man leading the underwear bomber onto the plane, through security, saying you have to let him on. He's from Sudan. You have someone videotaping reportedly the entire flight and aiming the camera at him. And I kept saying, why doesn't the FBI want to talk to Mr. Haskell, Kurt and Lori Haskell? And we appreciate him coming on right now. He had to come on in the last hour because the FBI was there just before he came on with us. So breaking news there. Kurt Haskell, again, who was on Flight 253 with the underwear bomber. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Hey, no problem. Glad to be here.
Well, tell us, again, a snapshot of any new developments or what the authorities just asked you about.
Okay. Yeah, I got a call early this morning that the FBI would be stopping in my office to talk to me sometime today, and they did. They left a little while ago. Our interview today was pretty similar to the interview they gave me while we were being detained in customs after we got off the plane, with one exception that I would say, and that was that they brought a stack of pictures they wanted me to look at and identify if I knew various people that they showed me, pictures of people.
Did you recognize the Indian man, the smart-dressed man?
No, he was not in any of the pictures.
Well, why wouldn't they have the airport footage? It's been 5 days. This is the biggest story ever. I mean, where is that surveillance footage from Amsterdam?
You know what I said to them? I said, did you guys bring the security video from Amsterdam? Wouldn't that be a more appropriate way to do this interview while we looked at security video? I don't think they liked that comment from me.
Well, it's common sense. I mean, you're a successful, smart lawyer. You're a sharp guy. But these FBI agents, they're sharp. They're accountants. They're lawyers. What's the deal?
That's what I said. Did you bring that video with you so we could go over it together? Wouldn't that be more appropriate? And I think that was an offensive comment to them.
Why would that be offensive? I mean, again, this is all part of the fake make work. We saw this with Oklahoma City and other suspicious events. They'll just bring a boatload of papers and stuff that doesn't matter, and then your information that is so vital will go into the deep six bin. And that's why I wanted to get you on, Mr. Haskell, but I think you're now experiencing what I wanted to warn you about vital witnesses just get ignored.
Well, I kind of want to keep this interview to me being an eyewitness and not me being expert testimony.
Are you talking about with the FBI or right now here on air?
No, what I'm saying is I want to keep, right here on air, I want to keep it to what I witnessed and not so much what my opinion is.
Absolutely, that makes sense to do that.
As much as possible, because I'm an expert. I'm an eyewitness in this case, not an expert witness, and I don't want anyone accusing me of having any kind of an agenda to discredit the facts of this case and what I've witnessed.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, that makes sense because, if you start making your opinions made, then they can try to ignore the key info you brought forward.
And use that against me to discredit me. Exactly. I'm trying to not do anything to discredit myself.
But there are other witnesses. We're now seeing other witnesses saying they saw the guy with the camera and everything else.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what you saw then, because we've got you to the bottom of the hour. Plenty of time to flesh this out. Instead of like 5 minutes on CNN or 10 minutes on Fox, plenty of time for you to be able to break down in fine detail what you saw, what you witnessed. And we're really excited to have Kurt Haskell on with us. His wife, Lori Haskell, was also on the aircraft, bombed by the underwear bomber. We're glad that he's certainly alive right now.